Welcome to Most Loved Wrestling, the place where wrestling is most loved. Last week, we finally got the announcement of the Women's United States Championship, which is something that's been genuinely needed for at least 2 years. But 2024 made it undeniable. In my own opinion, I thought that the Intercontinental Championship gold should have came first, but that's just nitpicking, and only little bitches nitpick, and I am many things, but a little bitch just ain't one. So the Women's United States Championship. Let's talk about it. Remember, this is the first time the women on the main roster are going to have themselves a secondary championship to vie for. We saw Kalani Jordan of NXT make history, and I believe she's done a phenomenal job with the North American Championship. Now, who will be her main roster counterpart? Who will be the first United States champion? Who will be in charge of launching the foundation of the championship and bringing it prestige? Whilst of course I don't actually know, I can give you my thoughts and picks. So here's my top 10 women to be the first ever Women's United States Champion. But before we get into it, put a like on this video, subscribe to my bullshit, and hit the notification bell. It helps with the algorithm. So if you like what I'm doing and believe that the world deserves to bear witness, then this is how you can make it happen. Now, just a quick one before I get into the proper list. Let me just tick off some names as honorable mentions, because I don't want nobody coming saying, yeah, boo this guy at Most Loved Wrestling, he ain't mentioning the right people, he ain't naming our favorites. Because trust me, your favorites are probably mine. I'm just thinking about opportunity, and I'm thinking about what the title is going to represent. So of course, Bianca Belair, a more than safe bet. If she was to win the championship, immediately it'll be hit with a ton of prestige. But with someone like Bianca Belair winning the championship, it only means that the person that comes second has massive shoes to fill. Shoes that they probably won't be able to fill. And that can be a little bit problematic when you're dealing with a secondary championship. While we're talking about Bianca Belair, let's talk about her tag team partner, the other half of the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Jade Cargill. Now she needs to solidify herself in the WWE as a singles champion, as a singles star. She already done that for herself in AEW, being the first ever TBS champion, and she was a dominant one at that. But I believe that Jade Cargill is due for bigger and better things. And I'm not trying to downplay the Women's United States Championship. I just see Jade Cargill as someone who is meant to be a main eventer. You could do her like Brock Lesnar. No other gold, even though she's already won the Women's Tag Team Championships. But no other gold, just World Championships. Which is why at the beginning as well, I mentioned opportunity. Jade Cargill does not need opportunities. She's destined for them. And all my sentences just seem to be flowing and rolling together. Destined. Charlotte Flair, that's my next honorable mention. Destined for greatness, already achieved it. Destined for the Hall of Fame, possibly the greatest women's wrestler of all time. Just like Bianca Belair, if she gets this championship, immediately gets hit with a ton of prestige, and no doubt would all take that championship very seriously. And I for one don't believe there's anything wrong with Charlotte Flair winning this championship, but I know it's going to irk a lot of people. A lot of the fans will be pissed off if Charlotte Flair was to come in and become the first ever United States champion. They'll say that she's taking opportunities away from the mid-card, which will be 110% true. However, you can't deny the favors that she would do for the division. And then if we're going to mention Charlotte Flair, we have to mention her counterpart, Becky Lynch. Not sure when she's coming back. She could just make a sudden return. Who knows? Whilst honestly, hate the idea of Becky Lynch becoming the United States champion, the first ever United States champion. I don't mind if she wins it later on down the line. But first ever, hell no. But you can't deny the fact, just like Charlotte, just like Bianca, if she wins this championship, it gets hit with a ton of prestige right off of the bat. And nothing says a wrestling organization cares about its championship more than giving it to one of its more recognizable superstars. Also, I want to put some honorable mentions from the NXT roster. If you haven't been watching NXT and you don't know, you should know that we are in a boom period down in NXT's women's division. It is 110%, not just words being strung together and put as a narrative pushed out to the public so that we repeat it. No, it's 110% a fact. That's the best women's division currently in professional wrestling. So I'm going to start immediately with the NXT Women's Champion, Roxanne Perez. If she was to come up, she would obviously have to drop the NXT Championship. But if she did that, dropped it to Julia, dropped it to Stephanie Vaca, Zarya, whoever, and then came up onto the main roster and claimed the United States Championship, you'd hear absolutely zero complaints from her. But the reality is, she's just an honorable mention because she is on NXT. NXT has a mid-card title in their women's division, so I don't see a world where NXT itself is going to be involved in the decision of who's going to be the first Women's United States champion. I believe firmly that Roxanne Perez is probably one of the best in the world, if not the best in the world right now at professional wrestling. On the topic of best female wrestlers in the world, I've got to mention two of Roxanne Perez's rivals right now. Julia and Stephanie Vaca. I don't believe that they would be coming up to claim the United States Championship. I think the point of them being down on NXT is not because of their wrestling prowess, but only to acclimate to the North American style of wrestling. Also even sharpen up their English skills. But let's be real, if Triple H decided that, fuck it, I want to bring them up to the main roster and make one of these two girls the focal point of my United States Championship division, he wouldn't be wrong to do so. So now that we've got that out of the way, we can get to the proper list. At number 10, I'm going with Bayley. Bayley is a veteran and she would instantly raise the stock of the championship. And not only that, she's a proven commodity. She would have no problem dealing with the pressures of carrying a new championship and bringing it to prestige. I was happy with her win at WrestleMania when she became the Women's WWE Champion, but unfortunately, I kind of can't see her getting back to a world title for the near future. So why not give her some love down in the United States Championship division? Like, the idea of naming Bayley the first ever United States Champion is low-key something you can't pass up, because you know that her name is going to go down in history. But I'll be honest, personally, she's number 10 on this list because I hope it's not her. Now don't get me wrong, I wouldn't be rage quitting watching WWE like I did when Brock Lesnar beat Braun Strowman for the vacant Universal Championship. Yes, I did that, but I do think that the United States Championship, the mid-card title, should be presenting opportunities to mid-card superstars. In 9th place, I'll go with Zelina Vega. Zelina deserves something. She's been putting on decent matches for a hot minute now, and she's got underrated mic skills. She'll be torching motherfuckers gladly, and I for one would like to see it happen more often. The only problem is she doesn't really get enough opportunities to do so, and that's understandable when you know that there's more important storylines that they've got to fit into their TV time. The WWE can't afford to dedicate that time to Zelina Vega at the moment. But if we was to get her the United States Championship now, you would have to make time for her to promote your champion, an opportunity for her to showcase more of her talents, and I think she would thrive in the spotlight. At number 8, I'm going with Io Sky. My reasoning for Io Sky to be the first ever Women's United States Champion is pretty much the same as what it is for Bayley. You can basically call picks like Bayley and Io Sky safe options. Damage Control has been in the background for a hot minute, and they've only recently started to come back to the forefront, picking up wins over Bianca Belair and Io becoming the number 1 contender for the World Championship. They're making noise again. The only thing is, I don't see Io Sky taking the Women's World Championship away from Liv Morgan, nor do I see Damage Control at any point dethroning Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. But the United States title is a blank slate. It has no current storylines. With a blank slate, you can build any narrative that you want, and that narrative could be to benefit Io Sky and the rest of Damage Control. Number 7, one of my very favourite female wrestlers, Tiffany Stratton. I had half a mind to be biased, put her up there number 1 or number 2, but I said nope, not only has it got to be my opinion, it's also got to be realistic to what should be happening in the WWE looking at its landscape. So I should get brownie points just for being reasonable, just for being fair. However, Tiffany Stratton, she's perfect for the championship. She's also perfect for the role she's playing right now, in fact. But that's exactly why she's at 7 and not in my top 3 picks. She has the money in the bank, and I would bet my house, I would bet my entire yard that there's no way she has a failed cash-in. And it's for this reason why I doubt that she'll be the first United States champion. I do believe that she will hold the United States Championship for sure, and I can see her having a legendary reign, but I see the top prize in the women's division being in her foreseeable future. So by proxy, that makes the United States Championship an afterthought for someone like Tiffany Stratton. At number 6, I'm going with Dakota Kai. She just come back this week on Raw. I couldn't have been more happy. The only way I could be happier is to see her become the first ever Women's United States Champion. The only reason why she's not higher, just like a lot of her counterparts, is because they're on Raw. And I feel like this is going to be a SmackDown Championship. It doesn't really seem like there's going to be any floating of this title. But on the off chance it is, I had to give these people a mention. I had to mention Dakota Kai. She's back and she's looking good as ever. Not like that, I mean professionally. So why not solidify this comeback and Damage Control regaining their power by giving Dakota Kai the United States Championship. At number 5, I got Sonya Deville. Now I like Dakota Kai a lot more than I like Sonya Deville. I do like Sonya Deville, but I already said I ain't going to be doing things based on favoritism, at least not all the way. Anyway, Sonya Deville could really use this championship to uplift her new faction, to uplift PFC. Like, it's not been looking good for PFC recently, I'm not going to lie. I liked them when they first got together. I saw the vision, I drank the Kool-Aid, I wanted to see them succeed. But in the words of LA Knight, nada! So far, it hasn't been the case at all. Don't get me wrong, I don't think they suck. I just think this is not what you do with a new faction that you're trying to get over. However, Triple H has been known to slow build his factions, and they become great later on down the line, like Damage Control, like Judgment Day. So I'm not just going to shit in the PFC bed right now. I keep saying this, don't I? Let them cook. But here's the reality. They're just not that good, and they're eating L's. But what's the one thing that could remedy any professional wrestling career? Championships and some W's. Give Sonya, the leader of the PFC, the championship, and you'll start to see the faction's aura fix itself. And number 4, I'm going with Lyra Valkyria. And this is what I mean when I said, well, not at least all the way, when I was talking about favoritism. This is why. I love Lyra almost as much as I love myself. So for no other reason than she'd be a brilliant first champion. She'll put on bangers. She's capable. She deserves it. She deserves something at least. And it would make me one happy wrestling fan. Let's at least think about putting the United States Championship on Lyra Valkyria. Now we get into the people who I believe it really would be, who it really should be. The other people, I'll be happy with you using them. I wouldn't be mad at it. These people are the people you should absolutely use WWE. So number 3, I'm going with Michin. I'm tired of seeing Michin work so hard and do so good only to not be rewarded. She has just been prolifically reliable for months before she was even coming back to SmackDown. When she went down to NXT, she was putting on bangers. If you know, you know. If you've been watching NXT, you know about the no DQ match with Jada Parker. Another person I wouldn't be mad if she was to somehow come up and get the United States Championship, but it'd be a bit random, don't do it. And more recently, Michin in the dumpster match with Chelsea Green. These matches was brilliant. They were crazy. And she showed the entertainment value that she has if you allow her to come on your screen more often. And there is no better way to promote someone, to make someone get over, than putting some gold on their waist. Someone with Michin's talent needs gold so that the fans can look at her and say, God, that woman is good. We should watch her more. She's called champion. She's just been phenomenal. She's become one of those people that get my attention anytime I see her come out to the ring, because she guarantees entertainment. She has been way too good, and if we are not rewarded good work, what are we doing? In second place, I'm going with Naomi. No more sidekicking to Bayley, please. That shit's gotta stop. She can be Bayley's friend, but allow them to appear as some kind of equals. It just looks like Bayley's better, and that's fine. It's not the end of the world. But Naomi come back and she needs gold. She needs recognition. I'm tired of her being an afterthought. She's definitely being treated with more respect than before she walked out and went to TNA. But if you remember, she was doing bits in TNA. She won the world title in what felt like about 2 to 3 months. And when it comes to Naomi, just like I said about a few others on this list, the reliability needs to be rewarded. She's another safe option, but she's a safe option that's on SmackDown that deserves some type of recognition, that needs a title. And if you don't think she's a safe bet, let me just remind you, she's a former 2-time world champion in the world of WWE as it goes. And don't get me wrong, I get why she hasn't made it back to the world championship. There is a blockade of talent in the WWE right now. The roster is stacked, but this is a mid-card championship. This is what the mid-card championships are for. This is why all those people that are put in the honorable mention, Bianca, Jade, Charlotte, Becky, why I said they shouldn't be the champions, because the people that should be champions are the people that's not receiving opportunities as it goes right now. Naomi's just perfect for it. She's a great name, and yes, I've put her at second, but really I have her tied at number 1. It's just that number 1 has her ever so slightly edged out. Number 1, obvious pick, Chelsea Green. Listen, character work, character work, character work. We were robbed of her in Money in the Bank. The only reason why we've got to let that slide is because it went to Stratton, and we never complain about Tiffany Stratton winning anything. Number 1 rule, and also alongside Chelsea Green, it made sense. But this time, Tiffany Stratton has Money in the Bank, so she shouldn't be winning the United States Championship. But if this time it is not won by Chelsea Green, we need to all band together and riot. Unless it's Naomi or Michin that win it, then I would say, cool, just let them cook. Literally anyone else, we should riot. We should crash the fuck out. This is Chelsea's championship to win. I completely understand they're never becoming a world champion, but I believe she should be made into an iconic United States champion. You know, that person that we all think of when we think about a championship? Like the Intercontinental Championship has Chris Jericho. The United States Championship has John Cena. The World Heavyweight Championship has Triple H, the original World Heavyweight Championship. For some it would be Batista or Edge, but I see a hell of a lot of potential here in Chelsea Green and the United States Championship. People talk stupid shit and say that we won't be able to take it seriously. Yes, you will. Remember, she has Piper Niven with her. Chelsea is so versatile. It's unbelievable. Like I said at the drop, character work. That is Chelsea Green personified. If Chelsea Green was to flip a script and make you take her seriously, she would do it. She would just find the perfect way to incorporate it into her character. But it doesn't always have to be like that. We've got plenty of serious champions. This is a mid-card title. Let it run. And like I said already, the powerhouse Piper Niven is behind her to help her carry the championship. But that's all I've got for you today. Thank you for listening to my bullshit. Don't forget to leave a like. Remember to subscribe and leave your thoughts in the comment section down below.